Good evening. Tonight marks the third broadcast of the Western Boone Swim this year. Tonight, the Webo Stars face off against the Danville Warriors in an important conference meet. I'm Andrew Petro, and I'm joined by Graham Cavens. We'll start with the girls' 200-yard medley relay.
In lane 3, Western Boone's A team consists of Jenna Twitty, Micah Hull, Hannah Hayden, and Caitlin Crowley. In lane 4, Danville's A team consists of Maddie Scrafton, Zoe Twig, Amelia Enslin, and Baylor Myers. And then in lane 2, Danville's B team is Lillian Have, Tori Grimsley, Lauren Kinsler, Nicolita Hansel. And then in lane 5, Western Boone's B team consists of Adeline Sarton, Rebecca Rustin, Annabelle Mitchell, and Lily Talbot. After that first exchange there at the wall, we have Danville's A team out in front, as that is Zoe Twig now swimming the breaststroke portion of this race, followed by Western Boone's A team in lane 4. In lane 3 for Western Boone, that is Micah Hull. A strong showing from this Danville girls relay team here to start, with them in the lead as they go in to that third exchange. For Danville, that will be Amelia Enslin for the Warriors, as Hannah Hayden enters the pool for the Western Boone Stars, as we see them doing the butterfly portion of this relay now. Danville still in the lead as they hit the wall here, with their fourth swimmer being Baylor Myers entering the pool, and then Caitlin Crowley for the Stars now enters the pool in second place. Danville still in front here as they come into the closing portions of this race. Caitlin Crowley trying to make a charge here at the end, but it's not going to be enough, as the Danville Warriors will take this first event in pretty comfortable fashion here, and then Western Boone's Caitlin Crowley coming to the line there to finish in second for the Stars.
The Warriors A team finishes with a time of 2:10.47, followed by the Western Boone Stars A team with a time of 2:14.60. Now, Graham, as we were saying before this event started, this is a conference meet tonight, so it's important for both teams if they want to take this. What do we expect to see?
Well, as we saw the opening there, it's a strong start for this Danville girls team. The competition for the girls and the boys side should be close tonight. The Danville boys team has had a really strong showing in all of their meets so far this season, so we'll see if they can continue that here today.
Up next, we have the boys' 200-yard medley relay.
And now the boys 200-yard medley relay. Western Boone's A team is in lane 3 with Jacob Norman, Jude Balk, Isaac Dreckeld, and Chase Collier. Danville's A team in lane 4 is Jonah Clodfelter, Will Vandegrift, William Clodfelter, and then Owen Clodfelter. And then Danville's B team out in lane 2, Colton Chasteen, Addison Durr, Miles Hudson, Oliver Reynolds, and then Western Boone's B team in lane 5 is Ethan Barnett, Alex Crockett, Malachi Catterson, and Sam Hilger.
And as we saw on the camera, Jonah Clodfelter took the first 50 for the Warriors in first place. And now in the water for the Danville Warriors is Will Vandegrift, followed by, in lane 3, Western Boone's second swimmer, Jude Balky. And he nears the end of his 50 and goes to the water. William Clodfelter, third swimmer for the Warriors. And now Isaac Throkout in for the Western Boone Stars.
And a very similar start to that girls relay race, with Danville having a couple seconds of an advantage with their A team there in lane 4, followed by Western Boone's A team in lane 3.
The Warriors continue to hold the lead And their last swimmer, Owen Clodfelter, is into the water before Western Boone's last swimmer, Chase Collier. You know, Graham, as they're swimming, I am noticing on that A team for the Danville Warriors, there are 3 Clodfelters. What do we think about that?
I mean, maybe they could all be brothers and really like a brotherly trio maybe here as we see that Danville relay get first place and followed by Western Boone's A team in second.
The Warriors finished first place with a time of 1:53.99, followed by the Stars with a time of 1:59.88. Next is the Warriors B team with a time of 2:10.27, followed by the Stars B team with a time of 2:12.11. Up next is the girls' 200-yard freestyle. So this is the first individual event for the night for the girls' team.
As they enter the pool here, in lane 1 for Western Boone, Rebecca Rustin. In lane 2 for Danville, Chloe Hacker. In lane 3 for Western Boone, Samantha Jones. In lane 4 for Danville, Amelia Inslin. And then in lane 5 for Western Boone, Caitlin Crowley.
Currently in first place is in lane 3. That's Samantha Jones for Western Boone, followed extremely close by Amelia Inslin and Caitlin Crowley. And to the second 50 goes Jones, holding the lead.
Yeah, really close race. Jones with about a second or two advantage out there in first place. But now it looks to be as Caitlin Crowley, her teammate, has surpassed Danville's Amelia Inslin there in lane number 4 for that second place position. And now we have Samantha Jones coming to the line here as she turns into this final 50 of this race. Caitlin Crowley still sitting in second place, and then third place, that is Danville's Amelia Inslin in third, and then out in lane number 2, that is Danville's Chloe Hacker, and then Rebecca Rustin in lane 1 for the Stars. Samantha Jones came into that with a split time of right around 40 seconds as she is maintaining the lead. Caitlin Crowley still in second, and then in for Danville, that is Amelia Inslin sitting in that third place position. So both star swimmers looking very strong here, with Samantha Jones strengthening her grip here on this race with a 41.78 for her 50 split there. Caitlin Crowley with a 41.98 for her 50 split, so very similar times from both those Western Boone athletes. And it is indeed Samantha Jones coming to the line in first place with a very solid time of 2:11.5, and then it will be Caitlin Crowley for the Stars in second, and then for Danville, Amelia Inslin will finish in third place as we see fourth and fifth coming to the line here. In fourth from lane 2, that is Chloe Hacker for the Danville Warriors, and then in lane 1, finishing in fifth place, is Rebecca Rustin. A really strong race there from the Stars after Danville picked up the victory in the 200-yard medley relay. The Stars respond with a 1-2 finish in the 200-yard freestyle as we now enter the boys' 200-yard freestyle. In lane 1 for Western Boone is Henry Biggs. In lane 2 for Danville, Jonah Clodfelter. In lane 3 for Western Boone, Jacob Norman. In lane 4 for Danville, Owen Clodfelter. In lane 5 for Western Boone, Wyatt Barnett. And then rounding out the field out in lane 6 from Danville, that will be Colton Chasteen for the Warriors. And it's a tight race in the first 50 here with all split times being in the 27 seconds for places 1, 2, and 3. Out in first place in lane 4, that is Owen Clodfelter for the Warriors. He is followed closely behind by Jacob Norman, and then his teammate, Jonah Clodfelter, for the Warriors. And it is a really tight race here as we come to the wall with Danville 1, Western Boone 2, and then Danville 3 as they make that turn heading into the next 50 of this race. It is still in lane 3, in lane 4, Owen Clodfelter in the lead for the Warriors, and it seems as though Jacob Norman and Jonah Clodfelter turn at very identical times there. And it's still tight as we have Danville's Clodfelter in front, followed by Western Boone's Jacob Norman, and then Jonah Clodfelter still sitting in third. It is definitely going to be a super close race to the line here in this boys 200-yard freestyle race, as it seems as though Jacob Norman is beginning to close the gap on Danville's Jonah Clodfelter here in this final 50 of this race. It's still Jonah Clodfelter in the lead heading to the line, and he will finish in first place, followed by Western Boone's Jacob Norman, and then in third, his teammate Jonah Clodfelter will finish third for the Warriors. Really, really fast race here in this boys 200-yard freestyle, with Clodfelter finishing in a 1:57.89, Jacob Norman in a 1:58.48, and then Jonah Clodfelter out in lane number 2, finishing in a time of 2:01.54. As we see the last athlete coming to the line here, a strong race out there in lane 1. That is Henry Biggs of Western Boone. He will beat his seat time with a 2:24.38. Into the girls' 200-yard IM as they enter the pool. In lane 1 for Western Boone, that's Annabelle Mitchell. In lane 2 for Danville, that's Lauren Kinser. In lane 3 for Western Boone, Ariana Stieber. In lane 4 for Danville, Zoe Twig. Lane 5 for Western Boone, Hannah Hayden. And in lane 6 for Danville, Lillian Hay. As we see them doing the butterfly portion of this 200 IM, we have Ariana Stieber in lane 3 with a really solid lead on the rest of the field, and it is her teammate there in lane 5, that will be Hannah Hayden, sitting in second, but followed closely to Hannah is Zoe Twig of Danville. Ariana Stieber with a really solid time in her first portion there of a 41 flat as she still maintains this lead. And now in lane number 4, that is Danville's Zoe Twig, overtaking Hannah Hayden for that second place position as they are in the breaststroke portion of this race now.
Ariana Stieber in lane 3 continues to hold the lead as she comes in, finishing about halfway through this 50.
We see Ariana Stieber there on your screen there, still with a comfortable lead as she hits the wall.
I do believe Ariana Stieber is now in her last 50.
Yeah, the freestyle portion of this relay, this will be the quickest 50 for all these athletes here with the freestyle. And we see in second place, strengthening her grip there in second, is Zoe Twig for Danville, turning in and now starting her freestyle portion of the 50. Hannah Hayden now turning at that wall as well into her freestyle.
And Ariana Stieber for Western Boone finishes in first place with a time of 2:16, only 3 seconds off her seed time. Congratulations to Stieber.
Yeah, Ariana Stieber, what a swim there for her. really solid showing, really taking control from the start to be able to get that win for Western Boone.
And incoming is Zoe Twig for the Danville Warriors, and she will finish second with a time of 2:42.06, followed by Caitlin Crowley for Western Boone with a time of 2:47.28. I apologize, that was Hannah Hayden, not Caitlin Crowley.
And now we have Danville's swimmer in lane 2. That's Lauren Kinser for the Warriors as she finishes in 4th. Out in lane 1, it's a tight race here for 5th, but it will go to lane 1's Annabelle Mitchell for Western Boone. And then finishing in 6th, out in lane 6, is Lillian Hay for the Warriors.
Great job to all the swimmers. Up next, we have the boys 200-yard IM. In this race, Benjamin Morton for the Danville Warriors is seeded to win.
As they enter the pool, in lane 1 for Western Boone is Alex Crockett, swimming his first ever 200-yard IM. In lane 2 for Danville is Camden Brewer. In lane 3 for Western Boone, Jude Balke. In lane 4 for Danville, Benjamin Morton. Lane 5 for the Stars, Malachi Catterson. And then lane 6 for the Warriors, Oliver Reynolds.
In first place is Benjamin Morton for the Danville Warriors. He's followed by a three-way battle, it seems, for second place, which is barely being led in lane 3 by Jude Balke for Western Boone.
Yeah, a really tight race here for that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place positions as we see Danville's athlete Benjamin Morton out there in first place position pretty comfortably, and the race really starts to begin for that 2nd place position.
And Benjamin Morton is now into the third 50 of the race. That's the breaststroke portion of the IM. He is followed by, in lane 2, Camden Brewer for Danville.
It was a really fast backstroke portion there for the leader in a 37:33. And he still maintains a strong lead in this breaststroke, but it's his own teammate in lane number 2, that is Camden Brewer for the Warriors, who is beginning to close that gap, followed by Jude Balke of Western Boone in 3rd.
And Benjamin Morton is now into the final leg of this race. He is into the free portion of the IM.
Yeah, he had a slower time there on that breaststroke portion than did 2nd and 3rd. That's why we saw his lead diminish a little bit there, but he is looking strong in this final freestyle portion as he comes to the wall.
And finishing in first place with a time of 2:22.05 is Benjamin Morton for the Danville Warriors, and he's followed by his teammate Camden Brewer in second with a time of 2:29.75, then by Jude Balke for Western Boone with a time of 2:35.25.
Yeah, really strong showing there from the Warriors, being able to go 1-2 in that race, followed by Western Boone's Jude Balke, who will finish in 3rd. And then it's 2 more Western Boone athletes finishing in 4th and 5th.
And finishing now in lane 6 is Oliver Reynolds for the Danville Warriors. Up next, we have the girls' 50-yard freestyle. And into the water they go.
This will be a super quick race here, this 50-yard freestyle event, as the two swimmers battling for that first place position currently is Adelaide Jones of Western Boone and Maddie Scrafton of the Danville Warriors.
It's a very, very close battle right now. Hard to tell who might be in first. About even. And it looks as though in lane 3, that's Addie Jones for Western Boone finishing first, barely with a time of 26:89, followed by, in lane 4, Maddie Scrafton for the Danville Warriors with a time of 27:04.
Yeah, what a race there from Addie Jones. That last like 10 or 15 meters is really what got her the victory there. She seemed to be just slightly behind Maddie Scrafton of the Warriors until that closing charge there from Jones, being able to pull out a slim victory for the Stars.
Up next, we have the boys' 50-yard freestyle.
Lane 1 is Sam Hilgo for the Stars. Lane 2 is Miles Hudson for the Warriors. Lane 3, Isaac Thurkeld for the Stars. Lane 4, Jason Billard Snoddy for Danville. In lane 5, Isaac Geringer for the Stars. And then in lane 6, Branson Chinnery for Danville.
Already halfway through the race. Currently in first place is Isaac Thurkeld and Jason Billard Snoddy. They're fighting for it, and it looks as though Isaac Thurkeld is barely inching over him. Will he finish first? And he will. Isaac Thurkeld finishes in first with a time of 24:54, followed by Jason Billard Snoddy for the Danville Warriors with a time of 25:06. Very, very close race, and Isaac Thurkeld just barely misses his seed time by 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, another really entertaining race there as it comes right down to the wire. But again, it's a Western Boone athlete being able to pull it out in first place, this time it being Isaac Thurkeld getting the slight win over Jason Billard Snoddy of the Danville Warriors.
So, Graham, that first portion of the meet, all those swims, what do you think of it? I thought it was a pretty good competition so far.
Yeah, definitely super entertaining and close, especially in those two 50-yard freestyle races that we just watched. Both teams being able to pull out wins on both sides. Right now the scoring is definitely close for both the boys and girls team title races.
And for our people at home, if you haven't noticed, the Western Boone Stars now all have matching swimsuits. Pretty flashy. And with that, we will head into an advertisement break going into the diving portion of the meet. We'll catch you soon.
Whitaker Glass and Mirror, located across from the Lebanon Municipal Building, has been serving the Boone County area for nearly 15 years. Whitaker takes care of windows, specialty glass, mirrors, windshields, and more. Contact Troy and Janie at 765-482-1500 or online at www.whitglass.com.
Hi, I'm Anita B. from Anita B. Beauty, LLC. I'm a registered nurse, proud Lebo grad, fine line tattoo, and microblading artist. I offer 3-inch fine line tattoos starting at $100. Popular designs include birth flowers, loved ones' handwriting, and custom design work. Additionally, I offer eyebrow microblading. We are located across from the Lebanon Library at the Glow House, where my business partner, Alita Jackson, offers teeth whitening and spray tans. And don't forget to mention this ad to get $5 off your next service. Go Stars!
Hello, I'm linebacker Kanan Bruins, out to thank Western Boone Youth Football for sponsoring WBTV Sports. Western Boone Youth Football building tomorrow's state champions.
IGH Steel is a local family-owned company that provides all of your metal cutting, powder coating, fabricating, and even all your welding needs. IGH Steel has been serving Central Indiana since 2009. Give Scott, Penny, John, and Jim Nyrider a call at 765-482-7534. That's IGH Steel.
WBTV would like to give a special thanks to Nick Throkeld for being a longtime sponsor of the Western Boone Radio TV class. And just like Nick's dedication to Western Boone, he's dedicated to making sure all your insurance needs are taken care of. Give Nick a call at Ellinger Riggs Insurance for all your personal, farm, business, and life insurance needs. That's Ellinger Riggs Insurance at 765-790-4365.
Thanks to JL Hardwood and Flooring Restorations for making this broadcast possible. Our friends at JL Hardwood and Flooring Restorations do custom inlays, refinishing, laminate, and vinyl plank flooring. Give Jesse and Kristen a call at 765-894-5978 or check them out on Facebook. That's JL Hardwood
As we transition into our diving portion, we will have 5 divers competing tonight.
Up first for the girls is Nicoletta Hansel for the Danville Warriors. Currently, she is seeded to win the girls diving.
Just don't. The first dive there for Danville's Hansel resulted in scores of a 4, 4.5, and 3.5. A solid opening dive there for Western Boone's Kara Hanna. With scores of 4.5, 4.5, and 5. So a good starting dive there for Kara Hanna.
That was Sienna Mitchell for the Danville Warriors with judges' scores of 6, 5.5, and 7.
Wow, what an impressive opening dive there from her. Some really high scores as she takes the lead here in this girls diving competition.
Up now for the boys for Danville is Scott Russ. And it's worth mentioning, tonight there are only 2 Danville divers, no Western Boone divers for the boys will be competing tonight. Very flashy dive by Russ for the Danville Warriors, and he will get judges' scores of 5, 4, and 5.
A solid opening dive for him with some good scores being put up there from the judges.
Up now is Will Vandegift for the Warriors.
On that dive there, he just over-rotated a little bit as he entered the water, resulting in those legs to come back for that splash.
He will get judges' scores of 3.5, 3.5, and 3 for a total score of 17. Up next is Nikki Hansel for the Warriors once again with her second dive. She will get judges' scores of 5, 5, and 5.5.
Great.
For a total score of 23.25.
A great dive there from her as she improves from her scores from that first dive there with a solid second dive.
Up now is Kara Hanna for the Western Boone Stars with her second dive. And with that dive, she will get judges' scores of 5, 5, and 5.5. For a total score of 23.25, the same as Nikki Hansel. Up now is Sienna Mitchell for the Warriors with her second dive.
Kara Hanna there on that dive. Basically identical judges' scores as we saw from her first dive, so lots of consistency there from Hanna.
With that dive, Mitchell will score a 5, 4, and a 4 for a total score of 28.6.
Yeah, the difficulty level on that dive there from her was really high, so a great job from her being able to get those scores from the judges.
Scott Russ for his second dive, or third dive now, I apologize. Russ will get judges' scores of 4, 4, and 4. And that's a Yahtzee. His total score was 16 points. First Yahtzee of the night.
Yeah, I was about to say that, Andrew. First Yahtzee. We'll see if we'll get any more of those dives as this competition moves along.
Up now is Will Vandegrift for the Warriors. With that dive, he will get judges' scores of 5, 5, and 4.5 for a total score of 21.75.
Lots of judges' scores here in that 5, 5.5, 4.5 range, with our best score so far being a judge giving a diver a 7.
Up now is Nikki Hansel for the Warriors. She will get judges' scores of 4.5, 4.5, and 4.5. The second Yahtzee of the night. Her total score is 21.6.
A solid dive there from her, as she again scores right in that range that she has been scoring so far tonight.
Up now is Kara Hanna for the Stars. Good dive by Hannah. She will get judges' scores of 5.5, 5.5, and 5 for a total score of 27.2.
Kara Hanna seems to be living in that 5, 5.5 range, as most of her scores have been putting out those numbers, and that's good for her, as her score will continue to increase.
Up now is Siani Mitchell for the Warriors. Good dive by Mitchell. She will get judges' scores of 5.5, 5.5, and 5.5, the third Yahtzee of the night. For a total score of 26.4.
Yeah, we didn't see many Yahtzees in those first couple dives, but now it seems every other couple of dives we've been getting a Yahtzee, and these Yahtzees have been coming with some solid scores in that 5 range.
Compared to the last meet we covered, it's almost as many Yahtzees. Last meet there were 4. This meet so far there are 3. Up now is Scott Russ for the Warriors. With that dive, he will get judges' scores of 3.5, 2.5, and 3 for a total score of 15.3. Now is Will for the Warriors.
His lowest scoring dive of the night there. He'll look to bounce back when he gets to his next dive.
Good dive by Vandegrift for the Warriors. He will get judges' scores of 6, 6, and 5 for a total score of 23.8.
The difficulty level on that dive a little bit lower, but it was executed really well, as implemented by 2 6s there from the judges.
Now on to the 4th round of diving tonight. Up first is Nikki Hansel for the Warriors. And with that dive, Nikki will get judges' scores of 4, 3.5, and 4. For a total diving score of 16.1. Kara Hanna's 4th dive of the night. Good dive by Kara Hanna. She will get judges' scores of 3.5, 4, and 4.5. For a total score of 21.6.
Kara Hanna, that will be her lowest judging score total dive of the night. If she had been in around those 5.5 scores, she'll look to get back to that in her 5th dive.
Up now is Sienna Mitchell for the Warriors. Good dive by Mitchell. She will get judges' scores of 5, 5, and 5. Now the 4th Yahtzee of the night. For a total score of 22.5.
Another solid dive there from Siani Mitchell as she gets good scores with a Yahtzee of 5s.
Up now is Scott Russ for the Warriors.
A solid dive there from him with judges' scores of 3, 3, and 3.5.
Up now is Will Vandegrift for the Warriors. Very cool dive by Vandegrift for the Warriors. With that, he will get judges' scores of 5, 5.5, and 5.5. For a total score of 38.4. I do believe that is the highest scoring dive of tonight.
Definitely is there. The level of difficulty on that dive so high, resulting in that high point total after some solid judges' scores of some 5.5s and a 5.
Up next is Nikki Hansel for the Warriors. With that dive, she will get judges' scores of 3, 1.5, and 3.
Yeah, that dive there, we see those scores.
For a total score of 12.75.
We see those scores because of that entry there from her. She didn't get quite all the way around as she went in a little bit sideways, as implemented by those scores from the judges.
Up now is Kara Hanna for Western Boone. With that dive, she will get 4.5, 5, and 4.5 for a total score of 22.4.
And that's right around where Kara Hanna's been scoring in that 4.5, 5, 5.5 range. So good to see that from her.
Up now is Siani Mitchell for the Warriors. Good dive by Mitchell for the Danville Warriors. She will get judges' scores of 5, 5, and 5. A fifth Yahtzee of the night, breaking for a total score of 25.5. Breaking the Yahtzee record so far on these broadcasts of now 5 Yahtzees.
Yeah, these judges definitely seem to be on the same page. A lot less divers tonight than we had at the last meet, but still able to get those 5 Yahtzees.
Up next is Scott Russ for the Warriors. And with that dive, he will get judges' scores of 5, 4.5, and 5 for a total score of 17.4.
Another solid dive coming from him. Like to see those scores there in those 5 ranges.
Up next is Will Vandegrift for the Danville Warriors. Great dive by Vandegrift for the Warriors. He will get judges' scores of 6, 5, and 5 for a total score of 33.6.
Another super high score there from Vandergraaf. As you saw him coming out of that pool smiling, he knew he nailed that dive there, and he sure did with another high score for the Warriors.
Up next is Nikki Hansel for the Warriors. And with that dive, she will get judges' scores of 4, 3.5, and 4 for a total score of 18.4.
With that dive, she does improve on her last dive with those judges' scores as she rounds out her night.
Up next is Kara Hanna for the Western Boone Stars. Good dive by Kara Hanna. She will get judges' scores of 4, 5, and 5 for a total score of 22.4.
Another solid dive there from Kara Hanna as she continues to be a very consistent diver as we continue to see her in those 5 and 4 ranges.
Up now is Siani Mitchell for the Warriors. With that dive, Mitchell will get judges' scores of 5.5, 6, and 5.5 for a total score of 28.9.
I believe that might be the highest female dive so far, so an excellent dive there from her with some really high scores there from the judges.
Up now is Scott Russ for the Warriors. Good dive by Scott Russ. He will get judges' scores of 4.5, 4.5, and 4.5, a 6th Yahtzee of the night. His total score will be 21.6. Up next is Will Vandegrift for the Danville Warriors.
Back-to-back dives scoring total scores in the high 30s, so we'll see if he can continue that success here with this dive.
Good dive by Vandegrift. He will get judges scores of 4.5, 5, and 5. For a total score of 31.9.
Yeah, another excellent score there from Will Vandergrift, as he had an excellent diving competition here tonight.
And with that, we conclude the diving portion of tonight's meet. We will head into an advertisement break, and we'll be back with the swimming portion here in a bit.
Hi, my name is Michael Behrens, and I'm a current meteorologist at WZZM-TV in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I bought this advertisement simply to support the awesome work that the Western Boone radio TV program does and the opportunities it provides to students. In fact, that's how I got my start in television. Without this amazing program, I would not be where I am today. So please, do what you can to support this unique program and the students who dedicate so much to make it a success. Thanks for watching WBTV.
Just like the offensive line protects our Western Boone quarterback, Agent Derek Gaha of the Wilkinson Insurance Agency has your back when it comes to all of your auto, home, business, and life. Give Derek a call at 317-852-8330 to get a quote and find out how the Wilkinson Insurance Agency might be able to help you.
Just like when you are cheering from the stands or cheering from home, Boone REMC is cheering on our Boone County athletes. Boone REMC offers scholarships and youth programs. Find them on the web at bremc.com. That's Boone REMC, sending power to the stars.
And now we're back. Transitioned into swimming once again. We will begin with the girls' 100-yard butterfly. For diving, for the girls, Siani Mitchell came in first place, followed by Kara Hanna, then Nikki Hansel. And for the boys diving, Will Vandergrift came in first, followed by his teammate Scott Russ. Both Warriors competitors. And as I said, now we go into the girls' 100-yard butterfly.
And the lane assignments for this event: in lane 1 will be Annabelle Mitchell for Western Boone, in lane 2 Torrey Grimsley for Danville, in lane 3 Jenna Twitty for the Stars, in lane 4 from Danville Amelia Inslin, in lane 5 for Western Boone Hannah Hayden, and then in lane 6 for the Warriors Lauren Kinsley.
And off they go. Currently, it is a battle for first place between lanes 3 and 4. That is Jenna Twitty and Amelia Inslin.
And it does seem as though Western Boone's Jenna Twitty might have the slight advantage, but now is being overtaken again by lane 4's Amelia Inslin.
And Graham is correct. Into her second 50. Amelia Inslin is in first, but is still neck and neck with Jenna Twitty, and they are very closely followed in lane 5 by Hannah Hayden.
Yeah,
for
Hannah
Western
Hayden
Boone.
is closing fast here with a really solid splits there from all those girls, right at around 34 seconds.
Still in first place is Amelia Inslin for the Warriors, and she continues to grow her lead.
Hannah Hayden is closing fast here, though.
But that will be Amelia Inslin for the Warriors, who finishes first with a time of 1:11.82, just barely beating her seed time. She is followed closely in second by Hannah Hayden for the Stars with a time of 1:12.61. Then in lane 3, Jenna Twitty for the Western Boone Stars is third with a time of 1:15.58. Great job to all the swimmers in this event.
Yeah, definitely a close race there. Danville being able to finish in first place with Amelia Inslin, but then second and third place belong to the Stars with Hannah Hayden and Jenna Twitty.
Up next is the boys' 100-yard butterfly.
And there will be 4 athletes in this race. In lane 2, Benjamin Morton from Danville. In lane 3, Malachi Catterson from Western Boone. Lane 4, William Clodfelter from Danville. And then out in lane 6 from Danville, Miles Hudson.
And currently in first is William Clodfelter for the Warriors. But it is a battle. It is neck and neck between him, and it looks like both of his teammates. Malachi Catterson has slipped into last place, but he is fighting hard.
Yeah, it's a Danville 1, 2, 3 right now with all 3 of their swimmers swimming really well and all competing for that first place spot, as we saw some splits go under 30 seconds there, so they are going really fast here in this 100 butterfly.
William Clodfelter is still in first place, it seems, and he's followed very closely in second place by Benjamin Morton for the Warriors. Then by Miles Hudson, once again for the Warriors. And he will close in and finish. That is William Clodfelter for the Warriors, finishing a time of 1:01.83, followed by Benjamin Morton with a time of 1:02.53. Then by Miles Hudson with a time of 1:04.29, and Malachi Catterson for the Stars with a time of 1:13.88.
A big scoring event there for the Danville boys team's hopes, as they are able to place 1, 2, and 3 with some really fast times in that 100 butterfly.
Up next is the girls' 100-yard freestyle. Once again, another fast race.
In lane 1 from Western Boone will be Micah Hull. Lane 2 from Danville, Haley Smith. Lane 3 from Western Boone, Adelaide Jones. And lane 4 from Danville, Chloe Hacker. Lane 5 from Western Boone, Samantha Jones. And then in lane 6 for Danville, Janice Kamani.
Currently in first place is Addie Jones. It is a very close race for first, however, between Addie Jones and Samantha Jones, both Stars competitors. And Addie Jones is into her second 50, growing her lead slowly over Samantha Jones, who is followed by Chloe Hacker for the Warriors.
We saw Addie Jones narrowly pull out a victory in the 50-yard freestyle earlier in this meet, as we see her now trying to get another individual victory under her belt in this 100-yard freestyle.
And Addie Jones finishes with a time of 58.70, followed by Samantha Jones with a time of 101.58. Then Chloe Hacker for the Warriors with a time of 105.56. And then by Micah Hull for the Stars with a time of 109.32. And now a battle for last place. Haley Smith for the Warriors will take 5th place with a time of 125.75, followed by Janice Kamani for the Warriors with a time of 130.28. Congrats to all the swimmers in that event. Up next is the boys' 100-yard freestyle.
Addie Jones continuing an excellent meet here for her with the 50-yard freestyle individual win and the 100-yard freestyle individual win, getting some strong points for the Western Boone Stars. As you said, Andrew, we are now in the boys' 100-yard freestyle. The lane assignments for this race will be lane 1, Isaac Geringer from Western Boone, lane 2, Camden Brewer from Danville, lane 3, Isaac Dreckeld from Western Boone, lane 4, Jason Billard Snoddy from Danville, lane 5, Ethan Barnett from Western Boone, and then in lane 6, Oliver Reynolds from Danville.
And in first place, it seems, is Isaac Dreckeld for the Stars, but just barely he is followed by a 3-way race for second currently. Looks as though Jason Billard Snoddy is in second.
Yeah, we saw Isaac and Jason battled out in the 50-meter freestyle earlier, with Isaac Dreckeld getting a half-second victory. They will go at it again here in this 100-yard freestyle race.
Isaac Dreckeld continues to keep his lead as he heads in to this 25. And Isaac Dreckeld for the Stars will finish first with a time of 55.09, followed by Jason Billard Snoddy for the Warriors in second place with a time of 56.77. Then Camden Brewer for the Warriors with a time of 58.08. And then Ethan Barnett for the Stars with a time of 58.82.
Yeah, really solid times there from those top 4 finishers with the 55, 56, and 2:58 seconds, all under a minute there, so some really solid times as we see Isaac Geringer for the Stars finishing strong here.
In 5th place was Oliver Reynolds for the Warriors with a time of 111.57, and Isaac Geringer now finishes 6th place with a time of 143.09. Up next is the girls' 500-yard freestyle.
And this is the longest event of the night. We will have 3 athletes competing in this event, 2 from Western Boone and 1 from Danville. In lane 3 for Western Boone, that is Ariana Stieber. In lane 4 for Danville, that is Teray Grimsley. And then in lane 5 for Western Boone is Caitlin Crowley. And Ariana Stieber currently has the best seed time of a 5:40.69. She will be the favorite to win this event, followed by her teammate Caitlin Crowley with a seed time of 5:59.73, and then Teray Grimsley for Danville with a seed time of 6:40.5.
Ariana Stieber finishes her first 50 with a split time of 30.52, now into her second. She's followed by Caitlin Crowley with a split of 33.68, and then Tori Grimsley for the Warriors with a split of 35.97.
Yeah, to start this race, Ariana Stieber looks very smooth going through the water, as we expect her to be such an excellent swimmer for these stars, as she's looking good here in this distance event. This 500-yard freestyle definitely takes a lot of endurance and muscle strength to be able to swim for this extended period of time at the speed that she's able to do.
Stieber with a split of 34.49, followed by Crowley with another 36.94 split. Then Grimsley with a split of 38.82. Graham, looking up on this record board straight across from us, we can see Lauren Jones currently holds the 500 free record for the girls team. And as our viewers at home may not know, Lauren Jones is the sister of Addie Jones. It seems swimming runs in the family. What do you think, Graham?
Yeah, that's for sure. Lots of records for these girls have been broken very recently, as implemented by their recent success both at the conference and sectional level, as they have been able to win back-to-back conference titles, and they have been able to three-peat that sectional championship crown. So it's been a really successful run here for this Western Boone girls swim team.
Stieber with a split of 35.02. Still holds first place, followed by Crowley, who will take a split of 37.79.
Both these Western Boone swimmers with very similar splits, the both of them. Ari Stieber, each time down the pool, has been around 2 seconds ahead of Caitlin Crowley in her 50s. As we see, she is slowly beginning to increase her lead, but both these girls swimming very similar splits in their own rights, as Danville's athlete, that is Tori Grimsley, had a split there of around 41 seconds. Ari Stieber a little bit faster there on that 50 with a 35.38. Caitlin Crowley right around that same time. She has been swimming with a 38.31 on her 50-meter split, as we see Tori Grimsley hit the wall for Danville with another split right at that 42-second mark.
As Graham was saying, Ariana Stieber staying consistent with a split time of 35.70.
Yeah, Stieber so consistent here in this 500-yard freestyle, not taking any more energy than she needs to on each of these 50s, just keeping that solid pace that she has going to position herself with a solid lead here over the other two competitors in this race. And Caitlin Crowley, her teammate, is having very similar splits in her own right with another 38-second from her. So two very consistent swims here from both Western Boone athletes. And then we see Danville's athlete Tori Grimsley hit the wall with another really similar split for her of a 42.27. So all these athletes swimming their race very consistently. Ari Stieber approaching the wall for another 50, and she continues to pick up the pace just ever so slightly each of these closing 50s, with that split being a 35.34.
You know, Graham, at this point in the race, we've talked about it every time. My splits would not be anywhere near what they were at the beginning. How much hard work goes into improving endurance and consistency in these events?
Yeah, definitely a lot of time, dedication, and commitment to be able to do an event like this, as Ari Stieber is into her last 50, as she again shaves a little bit of time on that 50 with a 35.29. So she just keeps on picking it up, continuing her strong performance.
And now into the last 25 is Ariana Stieber for Western Boone. And She will finish touching the wall, getting a time of 5:45.36, merely 5 seconds off her seed time.
Yeah, super solid swim there from Ariana Stieber, getting a convincing win, as her teammate Caitlin Crowley is now into the last 25 meters of her race as well.
And Caitlin Crowley will finish second for the Stars with a time of 6:13.71. Tori Grimsley for the Warriors is in her last 50, reaching her last 25 now.
A solid swim for both Western Boone athletes, being able to place 1 and 2, as we see Tori Grimsley finishing strong here as she comes to the line. A very solid last 25 there from her as she picked up the pace to close strong, and a 6:47.26 for the Warriors.
Up next is the boys 500-yard freestyle. And as Graham said, for the girls 500-yard freestyle, this is the longest meet of the night.
And we'll have more competitors in the boys 500-yard freestyle, as all 6 lanes will be filled with an even split of 3 and 3 for Western Boone and Danville athletes, with Danville's Owen Clodfelter having the best seat time of a 5:29.26. And the lane assignments for this 500 are in lane 1, Henry Biggs for Western Boone, in lane 2, Addison Durr from Danville, in lane 3, Chase Collier for Western Boone, in lane 4, the favorite that I was just talking about, Owen Clodfelter for Danville, in lane 5, Wyatt Barnett for Western Boone, and then out in lane 6, rounding out the field, is Danville's William Clodfelter.
So Graham, in the last home meet for the Stars, we watched Chase Collier and Wyatt Barnett have a fantastic duel for the finish in this race. That ended with Chase Collier beating Wyatt Barnett just hardly. However, they did still take 1 and 2 for the Stars. Graham, do you think we will see that kind of battle tonight, or do you think that was all last week?
Well, I bet that we'll have a very similar battle, as both those Western Boone swimmers swim very similar races, and we see on the seating list that some Danville athletes should be right there with them as well. So those battle for those middle positions should definitely be tight, as we see the favorite Owen Clodfelter wasting no time getting to the lead and strengthening it with a very solid couple first 50s. As he gets to the wall there, it's another really fast 50 for him, right at around 32 seconds flat. So he's definitely swimming a really strong race, as implemented by his first place position. And then out in lanes 5 and 6 is where we will see Wyatt Barnett sitting in second place, and then William Clodfelter sitting in third place position. And then another tight battle for fourth and fifth between Chase Collier and Addison Durr. Clodfelter slows just a touch there on that 50 with a 33.37, but still another super solid time for him in this 500-yard freestyle.
And currently, for the battle of second place, it is Wyatt Barnett in second, followed very closely in lanes 2, 3, and 6 by Addison Durr for the Danville Warriors, Chase Collier for Western Boone, and William Clodfelter for the Warriors. However, Owen Clodfelter still comfortably in first place.
Yeah, for that battle for second place, that last 50, all athletes separated by less than half a second in terms of their last 50 time. So all of them swimming very similar races, trying to position themselves to get that second place position, with Clodfelter seemingly having this race in control if he continues to swim the way he is, as he does with another solid 50 split of 34-22.
Owen Clodfelter for the Warriors is about a full 25 and then some ahead of any other competitor right now. Definitely a comfortable lead.
Yeah, the real battle, as we've been saying, is for that second, third, fourth, and fifth place position, as there are 4 athletes all right in contention there. 2 from Western Boone and then 2 from Danville, as Clodfelter swims nearly an identical split to his last 50 with a 34-51.
Neck and neck for second place is Wyatt Barnett and Addison Dewar. Looks as though Addison Dewar for the Warriors currently is in second place.
We're following your leader here with our camera. That is Owen Clodfelter for Danville. Still looking super comfortable and in control here with that first place position for the Warriors, as that battle for second is now belonging to lane 2. That is Addison Durr for Danville. So the Warriors looking to get a 1-2 finish here and potentially a 1-2-3 finish if their swimmer out in lane 6, William Clodfelter, could close the gap between him and Chase Collier and Wyatt Barnett of the Stars.
And we just heard the bells. Owen Clodfelter for the Warriors is now into the final stretch, his last 25. And it looks as though Owen Clodfelter will complete his race a whole 50 ahead of any other opponent, and he finishes first with a time of 5:29.70, which is just barely off his seed time by 0.4 seconds.
Yeah, so an excellent swim there from Owen Clodfelter led this race start to finish, and now the real battle is for this second place position, as there are 3 athletes all battling out for this second place position in lanes 2, 5, and 6, but out in lane 6, that is Danville's William Clodfelter, who has a monster last 25 to take that second place position in a 6 flat 22. And then in lane number 2, his teammate Addison Durr is able to finish in a 6:01.85, followed so closely by Wyatt Barnett with a 6:02.08. So Danville hogs some points there in this event, being able to place 1, 2, and 3 with a monster last 25 by Clodfelter and Durr.
Wyatt Barnett did beat Chase Collier for that 4th spot position by 4 seconds, a change from last week. And in 6th place currently is Henry Biggs for Western Boone. And he will finish with a time of 6:56.43. Great job to all the swimmers here.
Yeah, what a race that was, Andrew. First place position was wrapped up really early by Clodfelter, but then that battle for second, it was an incredible last 25 by William Clodfelter out in lane 6. He seemingly looked like he may have been in that 4th place position turning into that last 25, but then he was able to come all the way back to finish in second.
Up next is the girls' 200-yard freestyle relay. And into the water they go.
The A team for Western Boone, Adelaide Jones, will start for the Stars. The A team for Danville, that is Maddie Scrafton. Western Boone's B team's leadoff will be Rebecca Rustin, and Danville's B team leadoff will be Havley Smith.
And it is neck and neck between Addie Jones and Maddie Scrafton. Almost identical. It looks as though Scrafton will have the faster split by 0.04 seconds. However, the second swimmers are completely neck and neck That is Hannah Hayden for Western Boone and Chloe Hacker for the Warriors. Hannah Hayden looks as though she's in first, and she is. Into the water is Samantha Jones, the third swimmer for the Western Boone A team, followed by Baylor Myers, the third swimmer for the Warriors A team.
Yeah, Hannah Hayden was able to get that lead there with just over a second on Danville's swimmer. That was Chloe Hacker, as Samantha Jones is increasing Western Boone's lead here with a really solid swim from her. As the anchor enters the pool for Western Boone, that is Ariana Stieber, fresh off her 500-yard freestyle win.
She is followed by the fourth swimmer for the Warriors A team, Amelia Ensland, who looks to try and lessen this gap, but Ariana Stieber will allow no such thing. She only grows the gap, as you said, Graham, following that 500 free. And she will finish getting the Western Boone A team 200-yard freestyle relay, a time of 1:48.45, followed by the Warriors A team with a time of 1:54.65.
Yeah, each leg there for Western Boone's team just slowly increased the gap each time, being able to pull out that 6-second victory and gives the Stars some big points there, finishing in first. And then Western Boone's B team was able to finish in third with a time of 2:07.14.
And finishing now is Nicoletta Hansel for the Warriors B team. Great job to all the competitors. Up next is the boys 200-yard freestyle relay.
The lane assignments for this: in lane 3 will be Western Boone's A team, with the leadoff being Ethan Barnett. In lane 4, Danville's A team being Jonah Clodfelter. Western Boone's B team will be in lane 5 with Malachi Catterson being the first swimmer. And then Danville's B relay will be in lane 2 with Colton Chasteen being the first swimmer for the Warriors.
And into the water they go. Jonah Clodfelter takes the lead for the Warriors A team, followed extremely closely by Ethan Barnett for the Stars.
Yeah, we've been saying Clodfelter a lot ever since that opening relay where we saw 3 of them compete. They have done an excellent job for this Danville Warriors team all night.
And into the water is the second swimmer for Warriors A team, Camden Brewer, followed by Jude Balky for Western Boone.
Danville still sitting comfortably in that first place position, as Jude Balky for the Stars will look to try to close that gap. It's a really solid split of 26:04 for Danville's Miles Hudson, and then Jude Balky indeed does close that gap, going just around a second faster in a 25:06.
You can see Jude Blake did try to close in, but he was unable to. Currently in the water for the Warriors is Benjamin Morton, who hits the wall, and into the water is the last swimmer for the Warriors, Jason Billard Snoddy. He holds a comfortable lead over Western Boone swimmer Chase Collier, who also just came out of the 500 free. And it looks as though there will be no question about it. Jason Billiard Snoddy is in the home stretch, and he will finish for the Warriors A team with a time of 1:41.76. Followed closely by Western Boone's Chase Collier. He will finish for the relay with a time of 1:50.31. They are followed in lane 5 by Western Boone's B team. They finish with a time of 2 minutes. And lastly, Danville's B team finishes with a time of 2:06.95.
A really solid swim there from Danville's A team, consisting of Owen Clodfelter, Miles Hudson, Jason Billard Snoddy, and Benjamin Morton, being able to pull out the victory for the Danville Warriors.
Up next is the girls' 100-yard backstroke.
we have in lane 2, Baylor Myers for Danville. In lane 3, Jenna Twitty for Western Boone. In lane 4, Maddie Scrafton for Danville. In lane 5, Adeline Sarton for Western Boone. And then in lane 6, Lillian Hay for Danville. And based on this heat sheet, Jenna Twitty and Maddie Scrafton both have times of 1:10, with Scrafton being just half a second in front of Jenna Twitty, so this should be a good race here in this backstroke.
Scrafton currently holds first place over Twitty into both of their second 50s.
And after those top 2 places, we have a Danville athlete in lane 2 and in lane 6 being the 2 in 3rd and 4th place position.
Twitty looks to close this gap, but Scrafton will not allow it. And as she touches the wall, Scrafton finishes first with a time of 1:12.32 for the Warriors, followed by Jenna Twitty for the Stars with a time of 1:14.53. They are followed by Lillian Hay for the Warriors with a time of 1:25.59.
And then in lane 2, finishing in 4th place, that is Baylor Myers for Danville.
And in 5th place is Adeline Sarton for the Stars. She will finish with a time of 1:48.99. Up next is the boys' 100-yard backstroke.
There'll be 3 Western Boone athletes and 3 Danville athletes competing in this race, with the favorite being Jonah Clodfelter in lane 4, then Jacob Norman lane 3, Ethan Barnett lane 5, Colton Chasteen lane 2, Scott Russ lane 6, and Artie Melizer lane 1.
And off they go. Currently, it looks as though Jonah Clodfelter holds first place for the Warriors, but he is followed very closely by Jacob Norman for the Stars. Norman still has time to close this gap. We will see how they compete in this second 50.
And it is Clodfelter hitting the wall first with a split of 29.49, about 1.3 seconds ahead of Jacob Norman, who had a split of 30.96. And those two are comfortably ahead of the rest of the field, as first place will come down to those 2 athletes.
Norman looks to try and push, close this gap. Seems like he is just a little too far off, and he is. Jonah Clodfelter for the Warriors finishes first with a time of 1:01.42, followed by Norman for the Stars with a time of 1:02.91. And they are followed by Ethan Barnett in lane 5 with a time of 1:13.10. And they are followed by Colton Chasteen for the Warriors. With a time of 39. Oh. Seems to be a problem. There. 1:16.41.
A really solid swim there from those backstrokers, as we saw Danville's Jonah Clodfelter be able to pull out the victory by just over a second over Western Boone's Jacob Norman.
Up next is the girls' 100-yard breaststroke.
Again, an even split between Western Boone and Danville, with the favorite being Zoe Twig of Danville in lane number 4, Micah Hull from Western Boone in lane 3, Rebecca Rustin from Western Boone, lane 5, Siani Mitchell from Danville, lane 2, Janice Kimani, lane 6 for Danville, and then Lily Talbot in lane 1 for Western Boone.
And currently in first is Zoe Twig for the Warriors. She is followed by Micah Hull for the Stars.
A split there of 38-28 for your leader, followed by Micah Hull's 42-87 split for her 50.
It is currently a very close battle for third place between Rebecca Rustin, Siani Mitchell, and Lily Talbot. But in first still is Zoe Twig for the Warriors. And she will finish first with a time of 1:24.04 for the Warriors. Finishing second is Micah Hull for the Stars with a time of 1:31.56. And the close battle for third will be settled by a victor in lane 2, Siani Mitchell for the Warriors, followed very closely by Lily Talbot in lane 1 with a time of 1:42.34. Then by Rebecca Rustin for the Stars in lane 5 with a time of 1:48.12. And then in lane 6, Janice Kamani for the Warriors with a time of 1:56.54.
Danville able to get a big win there in that 100 breast, with Zoe Twig pulling out the victory over Western Boone's Micah Hull, who is able to finish second. As now the boys will swim the exact same event here, the 100 breast, with Sam Hilger in lane 1 from Western Boone, Addison Durr in lane 2 from Danville, Jude Balke from Western Boone in lane 3, Will Vandergrift from Danville in lane 4, Alex Crockett in lane 5 for the Stars, and in lane 6, Branson Tinnery from Danville. And the favorite in this event will be in lane 4 from Danville, that is Will Vandergrift.
And the favorite is currently holding first place, followed by Jude Balke in lane 3 for the Stars. Vandergrift into his second 50, starting to build a comfortable gap, but Jude Balke is right there on his tail. And Jude Balke himself is followed very closely by Addison Durr for the Warriors.
Yeah, Addison Durr, a little bit of a slower start, but he's really coming on strong here in his last 50 as he is looking to contend for that second place position.
And Will Vandergrift for the Warriors will finish first with a time of 1:10.13, and Jude Balke will just edge it over for second place with a time of 1:16.23, followed by Addison Durr for the Warriors taking third with a time of 1:17.17. Then by Alex Crockett in lane 5 with a time of 1:25.14. And Sam Hilger in fifth with a time of 1:33.24. And finishing in sixth will be Branson Tinnery for the Warriors with a time of 1:47.99.
Which is smashing his seed time here by nearly 6 seconds. And he did that with his goggles had fallen off his face after he dove in for that start. So a great job by him being able to keep his focus and get a really solid time for himself.
Up next is the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay.
There will be 3 teams competing in this event, with Western Boone being in lane 3 with Samantha Jones, Caitlin Crowley, Ariana Stieber, and Adelaide Jones. In lane 4 for Danville, Chloe Hacker, Lauren Kinsler, Zoe Twig, and Tori Grinsley. And then in lane 2 for Danville, Lillian Have, Siani Mitchell, Haley Smith, and Janice Kamani.
And into the water they go. Samantha Jones takes first place for the Stars, followed very closely by the Danville swimmers. Into her second 25, Samantha Jones building her lead.
Yeah, Samantha Jones looking really strong here. We've seen her in a lot of different events tonight, and she has done well in all of them, as she has a strong showing here in this relay with a lead for the Stars with a split under 30 of a 29.2, so she went out in a very fast pace as she looks to hold on to that here.
And into her final 25, Samantha Jones goes. Up next for Western Boone will be Caitlin Crowley. And into the water, Caitlin Crowley goes. Followed by Lauren Kinzer for the Warriors in lane 4.
Yeah, Western Boone looking strong here in the lead with Caitlin Crowley swimming a really good race here for the Stars as she will come to the wall and flip into her final 50 of this relay, maintaining the lead for the Stars here. Her split time of a 30.78, so a solid split there from Crowley.
And into her last 25 is Crowley. On the block is Ariana Stieber, ready to jump in the water, following Crowley.
As we look here at Caitlin Crowley coming to the line as Ariana Stieber will jump into the water for Western Boone.
Following Stieber is Zoe Twig for the Warriors.
And Ariana Stieber looks as though as she is increasing this lead. We've been saying that a lot with her as she has been doing excellent job in the individual races and now in these team races as she has a monster split of 27.57 for her first 50 there.
And Stieber into her final 25 of the night. Addie Jones is rearing up, ready to go.
And Stieber is coming to the wall, increasing that lead for Western Boone.
Addie Jones in the water. Stieber with a split of 30-36.
Addie Jones for Western Boone looks really strong as well as she comes off that turn, coming in to the blocks as she will turn into her final 50 with an amazing split of 28.37. And Addie Jones turns there as she will be coming home for the last 25 of this relay with Western Boone comfortably ahead with anchor Addie Jones coming to the line here. A really solid swim from her and the entire relay, finishing in first place with a good time of 4:02.6.
Now Tori Grimsley in second for the Warriors. Heading to the far wall. Now into her her last 25.
As we see her heading into this finish here, a strong finish from her in this Danville relay as they will finish in second place.
Danville finishes with a time of 4:42.08.
What a solid swim from that Danville relay. Western Boone's relay was just super quick here tonight, being able to put up a big time of 4:02.
And into the final 50 of the night for her, Janice Kamani for the Danville Warriors.
Danville's B relay Their first leg was Lillian Have, second leg Siani Mitchell, third leg Haley Smith, and then as we see Janice Kamani coming to the finish line here with the closing meters of this relay team as she comes to the line nearing that 6-minute mark.
And the Warriors B team will finish with a time of 4:42.08. Congratulations. My mistake, 5:56.04. Congratulations to the girls Warriors on their final event of the night. Now is the boys 400-yard freestyle relay, their last event of the night.
Yeah, and the last event of the night will have lots of relay teams competing here with 5 lanes being filled, with Western Boone's A team being in lane 3 with Jacob Norman leading off, Danville's A team in lane 4 with Owen Clodfelter leading off, Western Boone's B team in lane 5 with Henry Biggs leading off, Danville's B team in lane 2 with Camden Brewer leading off, and then Danville's C team out in lane 6 with Scott Russ leading off.
And it looks currently in first place is Owen Clodfelter, followed extremely close by Jacob Norman and Camden Brewer, all into their second 50.
Yeah, a tight race here for that first place position between 2 Danville teams and 1 Western Boone team, as it looks as though Jacob Norman has closed the gap a little bit on Owen Clodfelter of Danville as they will come to the wall here very, very tight.
And just barely following Miles Hudson, the Danville Warriors A-team second swimmer, is Chase Collier for the Stars.
Yeah, Jacob Norman was able to go about 0.4 seconds faster on that 50 than Owen Clodfelter of Danville. That's why we saw him be able to close that gap a little bit heading into this second leg.
And Miles Hudson into the second 50, considerably growing his lead over Chase Collier.
Yeah, what a swim here from Miles Hudson with a 27:28. That puts him over 4 seconds ahead of Chase Collier as he is really starting to strengthen this grip for this Danville relay in first place.
And Miles Hudson nears the finish line of his leg, and into the water is Jason Billiard Snoddy for the Warriors A team. And now in second is William Clodfelter with the Danville Warriors B team. They are followed by Wyatt Barnett for Western Boone in third.
Yeah, now Danville we see overtaking that first place position, but now in second place as well. So at the moment, a 1-2 finish occurring for the Warriors, but Wyatt Barnett is pushing to try to close that gap to get that Western Boone A team back into that second place position.
As you said, Graham, Wyatt Barnett really is pushing. You can see him straining to close this gap for the second place spot.
And he did close the gap a little bit there, Andrew, by just under 2 seconds. So he's doing a really nice job of pulling this Western Boone relay back in to try to get to that second place position as Isaac Threckeld went into the pool for Western Boone as Addison Durr for Danville enters the pool.
And Benjamin Morton is the final swimmer for the Warriors A team. He holds a comfortable lead over any other competitors tonight. If he keeps this up, it is going to be a strong finish for the Warriors A team. But as you can see, Isaac Threckeld, the fourth swimmer for Western Boone's A team, has taken second and is growing that lead.
Isaac Threckeld there swimming the fastest 50 of any of these anchor legs with a 26:14, so that's why we've seen him be able to strengthen that grip on second place. But he's just not going to be able to catch up to that first place position as they just had such a lead. Danville's A team being able to finish in a 3:46.65.
And Isaac Threckeld now finishing second for the Western Boone Stars with a time of 3:54.82. Considering, Graham, that they were far behind by the third leg of that relay. Isaac Throkeld did a pretty good job of closing that gap, and you can see he fist bumps fellow competitor Addison Jor for the Warriors B team. The Warriors B team finished with a time of 4:01:59. And now it is a race for fourth. In the water for Western Boone's B team is Isaac Geringer, and for Danville's C team is Weldon Dorsey.
Yeah, and we see Dorsey, he looks to be trying to overtake Geringer there, but Geringer with a little bit of a response here, trying to stick with them. It'll be close to see who will finish off in this fourth place position in this final relay, but it does look to be Danville's C team in lane 6 with Weldon Dorsey being able to finish in that fourth place position, followed by Isaac Geringer and Western Boone's B team.
And as you might have been able to hear at home, the crowd was going absolutely wild for that finish. Great job to all the swimmers in this event and to all the swimmers, both boys and girls, tonight. That will conclude the final event, and we will be back with the placings. So, Graham, as we are waiting for the placings of tonight's meet, what would you say? I would say that the Warriors did a great job against the Western Boone swim teams. What do you think?
Yeah, it was definitely a very competitive meet on both the boys and girls sides, as we saw some individual wins for both Danville and Western Boone competitors on both sides. We saw a lot more individual wins on the girls' side for Western Boone, but there was some for the boys as well. We'll have to wait and see for these final results. But an excellent job to all these athletes competing tonight. They all did an outstanding job.
And now we can see all swimmers are doing their cool downs. You know, Graham, at this point in the night, as a swimmer, I would not be doing any sort of cool down. I would already be in the car on the way home.
Yeah, that's for sure. But these swimmers all know that a cool down is essential for their bodies after having to swim such difficult races all night long. It's important for them to be able to get this cool down in. It's nice to see all these athletes doing that, benefiting their bodies for sure for those next meets, as conference will be quickly approaching, I think, for both these teams.
And now we have our final results. The Western Boone girls take that W. And comfortably, the Danville boys take the win with a large gap, 118 to Western Boone boys 63.
And then the girls winning with a smaller gap, but still a victory for the Western Boone girls with a score of 97 to 83.
Great job to all the competitors tonight. We would like to thank Carter Hanna for working the camera on the pool deck. We'd like to thank Chloe Bean for running production truck and keeping us all organized. I'm Andrew Petro.
And I'm Grant Cavens. And thank you to Matt Foxworthy for allowing us to put this on. Have a good night, everyone.